Hello and welcome back to Midlife Curiouses. In a previous video, I've told you about all the pre-visa preparations I did before going to South Korea. Today, I'll tell you what to do after you get your visa, forms to fill in the plane before you land, what you need to do before you leave the airport once you land in South Korea, and airport transfer to the hotel. My visa was valid for 3 months and it was good for a single entry lasting a maximum of 30 days. Now, the first thing you do when you get your visa in hand is obviously booking flights and hotels. There are many flight options for every budget. There is a direct flight from Delhi to Seoul too, but we didn't take that one as we were a little late in planning this trip and the tickets got too expensive. So we took Singapore Airlines to Singapore and Scoot Airlines to Jeju, which was our first stop in South Korea. As far as hotels are concerned, we booked 3-star and 3.5-star hotels, but you can book anything from hostels to 5-star hotels depending on your budget. Now, regarding location, we stayed in main Jeju city in Jeju, Seoul in Busan, and in Myeongdong in Seoul. All the hotels we stayed in were good service-wise and location-wise. I'll put the names in the description box if you want a reference. Now, up to 72 hours before your flight to South Korea, that is 72 hours or less but not more, you need to download and fill the Q code form which is available online. Many people believe that this was needed only when COVID restrictions were imposed and you had to quarantine upon arrival in South Korea. However, though South Korea has lifted COVID restrictions, you still do need to fill this out, as now it serves as a self-declaration of health. A QR code will be assigned to you after you submit the form online, and you will need to scan this code as you go through immigration in South Korea. For people who hadn't filled out the forms, hard copies of the form were provided at the airport on tables before the immigration counters. However, to save time and avoid confusion, I would advise doing this in advance. Also, just before your flight lands in South Korea, you will need to fill out 2 forms. One is a customs declaration that you are not bringing in any prohibited items or cash money over the permissible limit, which is 10,000 US dollars. If you are traveling with family, you need to fill only 1 form per family. The other one is a Jeju entry form in which you fill in your name, passport details and hotel details. You need to fill one of these forms per person. Both these forms will be checked as you pass through immigration, so make sure you fill them and keep them handy. Now you need to do 3 critical things before you leave the airport, and that is 1, making sure you have sufficient Korean won in cash, 2, buying SIM cards, and 3, buying T-money cards, which are essentially travel cards you use to pay bus fare and train fare, but you can also use them in convenience stores and to pay for cabs. Now first let's talk about cash. Most street food vendors, small restaurants and bargain shops, especially underground shopping stalls, only accept cash. Also, machines that dispense and charge T-money cards accept only cash. If you want to charge your T-money cards at convenience stores too, they only do that against cash. So please make sure that if you don't have enough Korean won, you should get them at the foreign exchange counter, which should be right outside the immigration area. The one in Jeju gave us a very good rate. Then let's talk about the second thing, that is phone cards. You can book them online, but I have heard that if your flight reaches early in the morning or late at night, especially if it gets delayed, the counter may be closed and you have to wait several hours to get the cards you paid for in advance. So in my opinion, it is best to buy them in person when you reach the airport. Jeju was the first airport we visited. The SIM card counters are just a little beyond the immigration area. When I was looking up information on Korean SIM cards, I had heard that there are instances when you need a Korean phone number, that is some restaurant reservations, food delivery, etc. So I thought getting SIM cards with data and calling and a Korean phone number was a better option than getting those with only data. So we went for phone cards with data and calling and a Korean phone number. Now these are not only much more expensive, but they have very limited data, only a few GB total. Also, we never came across a situation where we needed a phone number. And the only calls we needed to make were to our hotel, but most hotels there will reply promptly to emails if you need anything urgently. So my advice is to get SIM cards with data only, as they are cheaper, more reliable and sufficient. Coming to T-Money cards now, point number 3. Now if you land at Incheon Airport, there are T-Money dispensing machines which are your best options. First, choose the language is English and follow the easy step-by-step instructions to get the cards. Once you get the cards, you need to charge them. That is, you need to put money on them. The machines which charge these cards should be right next to the dispensing machines and are equally easy to use. Set the language to English, insert the Korean won currency note of the amount with which you want to charge your card, and follow the easy instructions. You can also use the charging machines to check the balance on your cards. When we landed at Jeju Airport, we could not see any T-Money machines. So we asked the lady at the SIM card counter and she directed us to a convenience store which was 2 floors up. As all convenience stores in Korea sell and charge T-Money cards. In the convenience store, you can just say T-Money card if you don't know any Korean and they will give you one. Now the convenience store in Jeju Airport was a CU. They gave us a card with CU printed at the back. I asked the gentleman there to confirm that it was indeed a T-Money card and he vehemently did so. What he did not tell us, however, is that when you buy a T-Money card with the name of a particular store on it, no other convenience store will check the balance or charge it for you. We did not realize this in Jeju as there was a CU in our Jeju hotel itself and we frequented that naturally. In Busan too, there were many CUs, so we had no problem. In Seoul, however, we saw most 7-Elevens and GS25s and very few CUs. One day in Seoul, our balance ran out and we went to a nearby GS25 to charge our cards and we were told that they wouldn't charge them. There were GS25 and 7-Elevens nearby but no CUs, so we had to walk to a subway station and charge them on machines there. So please buy T-Money cards as far as possible in the airport from the machines. If like us, you have to buy them from a convenience store, be informed that if they have the name printed behind them, you can charge them only in machines at subway stations or at the stores with the same name. Now to charge them in convenience stores, hold out the card with the amount of money you want to put on it at the checkout counter and they will do it for you. Buying things is not compulsory. You can just charge your card and leave. As far as airport transfer is concerned now, coming to the next point, your best bet, especially if you have a lot of luggage like we did and your hotel does not do pickup from the airport, is airport limousine buses. But they only go to Seogwipo and South Jeju in Jeju and not to Jeju city. If you have a lot of luggage and your hotel isn't on the airport limousine bus route, you will need jumbo taxis which are expensive. That's 50,000 won for a drop from Jeju city to the airport. Airport limousine buses have huge hatches on their sides for holding luggage and there is no limit to the number of pieces or weight. You can board these at the airport or bus stops with airport limousine logos on them. Please note that they only accept cash or T-Money cards, no credit cards. So this is it for today's video. My next one will be on our first and third days in Jeju. I've already covered day 2 in Jeju, which was the coastal bike ride. I'm also going to talk more about convenience stores and bus travel. So don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications. Bye for now.